What's going on, guys, and welcome to a video I never thought I would film. So that's right, you are feasting your eyes on the BMW Performance steering wheel. This thing's Alcantara. This thing is normally pretty expensive, and this thing is something I never really thought I would put in my M3. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to the next mod of my E92 M3. As I mentioned, this is the BMW Performance steering wheel. So the funny thing about this wheel is it was very cheap. It was much cheaper than a brand new wheel. As you can see, obviously I bought it without an airbag because the airbag that was in it was old and I don't think it had the recall done. So I will be using my factory airbag that had the recall done. And if you can notice, I will put some better lighting on this bad boy, but this thing is like trashed. I don't think the lighting will pick it up right now, but I will give you some glamour. They won't be glamorous, but I will give you some glamour shots on why this thing was so cheap. The biggest reason is that it was from a crashed car. And if you look, actually this half of the steering wheel is in much better shape than this half. And the reason for that is I've spent about 5 hours with these products on this wheel. So the process I'm going to be using in this video is literally like a complete rejuvenation, or as best of the process as I know from reading online. It seems like this Sonax stuff, which I will put a link for in the description, is the best stuff to use on Alcantara. Yes, this is Alcantara. And I will show you, hopefully you can see the difference there versus there, but I will put some light on it and show you. I'll do a little overlay. The brushes, I literally will put I'll put a link in the description for the brushes as well. This is a regular, little brush that you want to use. This is for nails, but it works as well. And then this is a nice little close little detailing brush. And I also will be using a microfiber. So the plan is to bring you through the process of rejuvenating this performance steering wheel. This is the V1, which does not have the little lights at the top. It does have the stripe. And if I put this in front of my face, you'll be able to see that the stripe is destroyed as well. So I actually purchased some paint that is especially made for, you can use it on shoes, you can use it on different types of upholstery and leather and stuff like that. So I will put a link in the description. The paint hasn't arrived yet, but I will be painting that as well. And I will be rejuvenating the other side of this Alcantara. I literally I couldn't wait. I wanted to do a video right away, but when I was laying in bed, I was watching YouTube or just hanging out, I just couldn't wait to start rejuvenating the Alcantara. And to be honest with you, I bought this thing so cheap. If I really don't like it, or the Alcantara is too much upkeep for me, because I know, it's a lot more work than just the standard leather steering wheel in the M3, I figure I'll sell it for the same price or more, especially considering I put a ton of hours into this already. So I'm gonna show you the difference between my stock wheel and this one, and then we'll go through the process of rejuvenating. All right, I got my scan grip light here, so I will try to show this so it's not completely shining on, but this is what the stock light looks like. It's just a nice leather wheel with the M stitching, very good shape. I've actually kept up the leather pretty good on this thing, so it doesn't look beat up or anything like that. So that's what the stock wheel looks like. And the M Performance wheel, if I can hold both of these things at once, looks, kind of like that. I don't want to scratch the emblem, but that's kind of what it looks like. And yes, I know what you're thinking. There's no other Alcantara in this car, but I can always shift up the shift boot or the parking brake or whatever. But for now, I think it'll be fine. I've seen other cars with just this wheel and no other pieces of Alcantara, but that'll be kind of the first step, is getting the wheel in here and sort of, having the nice flat bottom wheel. And actually, you can see how gross this side looks from over here. It's a little darker and the fibers look a little nicer. And we're finally done, guys. Finally done restoring this BMW Performance steering wheel. The Alcantara looks good. The stripe looks pretty good. I also did a little touch up on the inside. If you can see there was a little bit of rust forming. Kind of weird and a little concerning, but for now I just sanded most of it down. I'm gonna get the rest of it off camera, but you guys get the idea. So generally speaking, with the Alcantara, the best advice I can give you guys is to not over scrub it. If you look really closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but the top of this Alcantara is a little, it doesn't look exactly the same as the other parts of it. So I would say I probably scrubbed it a little too hard. You definitely want to be easy on it. Do as many steps as you want. You know, you can use the Sonax Alcantara cleaner, but just do it spread apart. So do it maybe once, let it dry, see how it looks, and then do it again if you think it's necessary. But don't just sit there and scrub it all night long. I got a little excited and I thought that scrubbing a little bit more would do a better job, so it doesn't necessarily do that because Alcantara, it's kind of funky to work with. So overall, the Alcantara is in much better shape. It's definitely acceptable for my car. So I'll put a link in the description for everything I used today, including the paint for the stripe. It's actually dedicated leather paint that I saw online people use on shoes and on Jordans and on different things, but that is a little close up. When I peeled off the tape, just one of the edges doesn't look 100%, but unless you put your face, that close to it, you're really not gonna be able to tell. And the blue is very close. It's actually a little bit brighter than the way that the blue was before. And it's definitely brighter than the way it is stock. So keep that in mind. But I would say it actually looks really nice. So if I go to sell it, I'll have to say that obviously I painted that. But other than that, it looks really good. I'm gonna swap out the buttons. I'm gonna put this in the car. That's gonna be a separate video. But that's it, guys. I mean, that's the synopsis here. It really came out good, and I do want to share with you before I forget, a brand new one of these things, I think is about 700 bucks, and this one was actually $290. So I figured for $290, if I do all these things to it, and it still doesn't look good enough to put in my car, just for my standards, I didn't want something in there that looked kind of old and broken and janky or whatever. I figured I would just sell it maybe for a little bit more than I paid. So I figure I can at least get the money out of this that I paid for it, and it gives you guys a lot of content because there isn't a lot of videos out there of restoring, quote, quote, restoring Alcantara. So with that said, link in the description. Video will be coming out of actually putting this in my car, and probably a follow-up video of actually living with an Alcantara steering wheel will be on the channel shortly after that. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.